With enough hard work, the probabilities indeed do exist where it is that you will be the one person to succeed to find a needle in a haystack, but so as to intensify your statistics, to eradicate the prospect of there not being a needle to be found in a haystack. You need to go to God, for He is the one that never misses, never loses a battle, never drops a ball. Women in the world can indeed get great husbands because they were the ones who found that one needle in a haystack. But it is a commonly known thing. Hence why it is a common issue among women that men not only cheat, but they are apathetic, insensitive, aloof, despondent, and prone to getting bored with women as they get older. Imaginative of our replaceability and the perception of the loss of value of our persons as time progresses. When you still think you're an awesome person, you feel your own spirit within yourself, you know yourself within yourself, you feel yourself, that you're still something worthwhile to write home about, and yet herein lies an individual thinking jack about who you are. Now that you're like 43. That's what men do. And that's why even I believe God delayed my marriage, because I'm a middle-aged woman, and it is around this very age of mine, of 40, 41, 39, 45, where men start to go so terribly awry on wives. So terribly awry. And harass the living daylights out of them with younger women, and be apathetic, not care about just being used to that. Okay, listen, this person is a baker. This person is a cleaner. This person is a homemaker. This person is a mother, a caretaker, a nurturer that has given you a home for years. They start to walk into a house grumbling, feeling nothing at all about the home that has been made by a woman. Divorced men, only after a few months after their divorce do they feel the absence of a woman in their houses. But when they're still in a marriage with these women, they neglect conveniently to recall the fact that when they were bachelors, they didn't have any of these privileges, where Indlu Ndefela was just kept in a bunch by someone that's there. I am living at my mom's house, unfortunately, as a 41-year-old woman, because listen, what have you done to my life, okay? And every so often when there is just this like gnarly annoying, okay, now I can finally switch this fan off because it's starting to feel some kind of cold, finally at like 21:47 at night. Yeah, and now I can hear myself talk. Okay, the one needs to stay on just to make sure that my phone does not overheat. Yeah, what do you call this? Yeah, I live with my mom. And God December, she went on holiday with her friends or whatever. Okay, and during the time when she was gone, and indeed it happens pretty much every year, okay, I feel it, because there's just so much burden on me to make sure that that which is generally kept in the bunch and the house is kept in the bunch, over and above what it is that I tend to take care of, over and above that which I tend to keep in a bunch. Now that I've switched this fan off, it's now getting super hot again, so let me just put on the lowest cooling setting, the lowest fan setting, because now it's too cold. Like, listen, it's the lowest setting. What do you want me to do? Ugh, it's like mad lemon. Sometimes I feel hot, sometimes I feel cold. It's like flu. Okay, whatever. That which my mom keeps in a bunch, I was just so frazzled by me having to keep it in a bunch. Like, so there is a domestic worker that comes in once a week. So, but the shower is just this gnarly thing that if you don't, you know, the soap stains that can chill on the shower door, and also just people's grubby hands handling with soap surfaces can really irritate you. Like seeing paw prints, because they be out looking like cat paws or whatever on the surface of the shower. And also like the goo of soap coming from other people. You feel like it's really gross, right? Like on your things. My mom, every time she takes a shower, this crunchy, scrubby, spongy thing in the shower that she leaves in there, and she is always like just every day. Or she pretty much scrubs down the shower every single day. She scrubs the shower every single day so that soap scum does not just kind of stick there, because that's what thing. Who gets out of a bathtub without that thing? No one, right? Because there's like soap scum around the rim of the bathtub. It's easy to remember bata after taking a bath, but a shower is this thing that we take for granted because the soap just falls off our bodies and then down there. And there's barely any rims of soap that you will find in the shower. Mara, I get if I only busy or splashing yourself with water. The water just falls all over the show onto the shower doors, and so that scum, that soap scum, lands on the doors. The shower, and indeed, just like it is with bata, we must indeed shower every day, just like you would bata after every day. But we don't, because it's not as obvious that this thing is not as clean now that we've showered in here, the way that it would be with a bathtub. And my mom is the one that takes care of stuff like that. Like, she is the one person that goes in the shower every single day and yeah, she's the one person that goes in the shower every single day and ascertains that soap scum is not on the minyago, ya shower. And when she was on holiday, I felt it because, I went into the shower every single day and I was like, my soap scum, it's gross, I don't want to look at it. Because and while I might pour my baslapa water on the shower door to rinse off what soap scum is there, it's still nonetheless the next day unless you go in what do you call this thing, handy unless you go in domestos, it's just not gonna come off. So I found myself having to do this, and I didn't even do it every day, but like every second to every third day, because I just could not stand going in the shower and looking at this stuff. And I was like, okay, she's not here. And the shower is not the only thing. My mom is not here, but the bathroom, the kitchen as well. Mofat says she mops like every day the floor, while I'm the one that tends to take care of surfaces. So if I'm not here, they would feel it, because I cannot deal breadcrumbs, not even the slightest sighting of one on the kitchen counter. I cannot deal with peanut butter stain left wherever. I can't, like, I feel like that just don't, I'm not supposed, I hate that. Ooh. Like, yeah, I couldn't, when my sister was here, I was so frustrated, like, every day, to a point where on it, I took it and I put it very far away so that nobody will ever use it again, because it always had, like, either gravy or people's fingerprints. Microwave, I'm always the one that deals with the microwave. Like, a microwave, that you can see your reflection on the surface of it. And so every so often I'm going to abula microwave. I couldn't understand it. It's like, come on, there's one place where you pull out the microwave and it's underneath, like the surface. Why I leave fingerprints alone? I can't deal. Hooking up papa or gravy or whatever. Microwave. You're getting your fingerprints done at the bank with your biometrics all over these streets. Come on, just wipe the surface down. Yeah, I'm the one that's pedantic about stuff like that. I'm the one that's pedantic about fingerprints on fridge surfaces, fingerprints on the microwave, things, crumbs on the kitchen counter and whatnot. I'm the one that's pedantic about stuff like that, whereas my mom isn't, right? And I also can't stand for the life of me fatuku any stain on it, like any, and my family members just like a little listen. They will take a plate out from the microwave with like fatugu, and then the plate will get dipped into like their plate by mistake, and they will just put the dishcloth down, put their plate in a tray, and then go, how can I book kitchen? And you don't know what's going on. It's so gross. I hate it. And I can't understand why people don't just ascertain that they don't get gravy on the fatuku. And also, why under heaven are you willing to, I have found the fatuku really packed mohara drawer ya kitchen, didn't like a stain on it, like tamati sauce or I'm like, why is this thing packed? Or why I'm trying to washing line name? The worst is when it's on the washing line and it's got like an acha stain. I'm like, so I'm the one that came up with an idea to always have a bowl of water and bleach and skip detergent in which to dunk the fatuku. And then personally, I have the fatuku too that I bata so as to wipe the dishes with them. Selling completely clean any spot or blemish, like the lamb sacrificed over there at the altar in the Old Testament, in trying to atone for the sins of the Jews for the year. Yeah, the spotless and unblemished fatuku. I have 2 of them that I've banked for myself because I cannot touch fatuku and any stain on it. Any. Do you understand? And I ended up embarking on that journey precisely because of my frustration gadi fatuku. So that was my solution. The bowl, if I was not here, if I were to disappear from Jarata, my mom would miss them. Because I make sure the fatuku bloody school. I make sure surfaces discon. I make sure that the fingerprints on the microwave are nowhere to be found. And when there was no one here during the holidays and it was just me, I enjoyed a microwave that had no fingerprints on it, and I was like, this is how life is supposed to be, okay? I enjoyed a kitchen counter that had no breadcrumbs on it, and I was like, this is life. And then they came back and I was like, oh, but at the same time, upon returning, I no longer had to deal with the issue in the bathroom, the shower that's not properly done, and my mom also every single day without fail, and any time at all that there is an issue or a stain on the kitchen floor. So I tend to ignore the floor, but I focus on the surface that is in my eye level, whereas my mother is the one that gets down and dirty and scrubs lady walls. What men miss when they're now divorced. Mara, they don't appreciate it. Do you understand it? When they're in a marriage, because by toilets, in the same way that I get toilets every day in a clean shower, because my mom is the one that always got this. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, until I go holidaying and I realize, oh goodness, listen, I've got an onerous task on my hands here where I gotta now focus on cleaning shower every single day like I'm some domestic servant. Like I can't deal. Like listen, I can't. Somebody fan me. I need air. Like this is too taxing on a sister girl. Yeah. Very well. Well, amadoda, they tend to underestimate the power of a woman's presence. They tend to underestimate the power of a woman's presence in the house, and then they get divorced. Only when they're single again do they then feel this frustration, and then they start to harass like then second wives and whatnot. That's why after a man has been married, and I spoke about that in one of my other videos, they can't not be married. They can't stay single. They can't be so fed up with marriage that they don't want to do it again. They at some point are like, listen, I need a wife, because they want those comforts, but then they get bored with the women that are in their lives, and so therefore patronize the living daylights out of them. How am I gonna dodge the bullet of a guy getting over tabao? I cannot go shower every day with school. I cannot go kitchening every day. Kitchen counter is cleaned down, wiped down. The fingerprints on the microwave surface. Because I mean, when he comes into his house, every single day, the microwave is out there looking like children were playing with it with clay. The way it's got so many fingerprints is brown. But when I'm there, all of a sudden he be like out there checking if there's anything in his teeth on the surface of the microwave or on surface of fridge. Because I had a fridge even yesterday, like when I had my own apartment, my refrigerator was also kind of, you could see your reflection in it, type setup thing. Yeah, and such surfaces need constant wiping down, constant wiping. Yeah, like for the life of me, I don't want to get married to somebody that's gonna get to a point where he's just over the fact that I keep on wiping down fingerprints on our microwave. Like you don't just get to get over that and then replace it with somebody else that's also gonna realize that. What is with the fingerprints on the microwave surface? What is with the breadcrumbs on the kitchen counter? What is with this? What is with that? Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm not going. I don't know. I can't say that I'm not going to, because that's an arrogant statement. Because listen, we are subject to the curse. From now on, your desire will be for your husband, and your husband will rule you. And in so ruling, you will understand that he can just get this more where they came from. I love girls all over these streets. Yo, put your number on this paper, cause I would love to date you. Holla at you when I come off tour. After causing Beyonce to write Lemonade and whatever. I was like, I'm not gonna have a dude be out tired of me. Listen, I'm not a fan of Jay-Z and Beyonce because of their just exorbitant paganism. And right now I'm speaking about Jay-Z. But yesterday I was watching a video. Essentially, I believe it was covering the infidelity of... I was watching this one content creator, this one black girl speaking about how black love is just so toxic. Like, it's like women are always just preparing for abandonment. It's like so much war, so much tumult. There is so much war and so much tumult in what is called black love. And in black love, that's where you find basically the curse of Adam and Eve just yawning at you, gawking, like proper, like a sleepy baby. It's just yawning, okay? Because that's where you find the just thirsty lady out here groveling at the feet of a crazy guy. Most in the black community, you be finding the curse out here, stretching itself on a terrace, like a man also parang hembe, on his terrace, out here mooning the entire neighborhood with his zibetete. Yeah, like they are indeed an Izzy mooning you. Yeah, you be finding the curse mooning you like that in the black community. And this chick was speaking about how it is that, listen, black love is just, I don't know what's going on over there, Mara. It's not love, like, I don't know, like anxious, ambivalent attachment style. You're always preparing to be left, like telling it, like in the video, men are just speaking about how it is that a woman must love you. You must always love your woman more. And women counseling other women that, listen, you can't love your man more than he loves you. You must always hold back a portion of yourself. A man must always love you more, otherwise he's gonna get comfortable and enter into automatic cruise control. And I was like, I couldn't agree with her more. That, listen, women are always preparing for abandonment. They don't want to give too much of themselves. And I have endured this, where my boyfriend started out just like, listen, love bombing me, if you will, and then going on to get into cruise control. And one time he even said, yo, baby, you love me so much. Because I was out here helping him along with something, doing him a favor. And he flat out said that my ex-boyfriend the same ex-boyfriend had a cousin who was dating a chick that he pursued for a minute. And after getting her, he thoroughly went and told my boyfriend, his cousin, that, hi, let's say her name was Pumzile. Hi, Pumzile loves me too much. What the heck? You pursued her for like 3 years. And now that she's in your life and you broke her virginity, you're now saying that she is essentially too thirsty for your love. Yo. So when women get to a point where they're like India Ari, I am ready for love. Why are you holding back then? And then pull away. And she's like, that's what it's like in black love. To a point where women have to like keep counseling other women that don't show a man that you love him too much. You must always hold back a portion of yourself. When God said that love your neighbor as you love yourself. Husbands, love your wives the way that Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. And women submit. So when then you submit and you do everything for your man and you cook and you clean and you whatever, and the Mutlona then holds back and enters into cruise control and stops loving you the way that Christ loved the church. It's like, it's a war. And she's like, listen, this place is an environment where it is that women are not so much planning for love or creating or cultivating a climate of love, but she is literally preparing for abandonment. She is literally planning and preparing rather for abandonment. Okay? And I couldn't agree with her more, but she was a worldly woman. She was yet to be born again, so she was speaking from a vantage point of being in the grain and saying that black love, something gotta change, y'all. Like, why must people be scared to give their all in a relationship? Isn't that what love is about? To essentially put your best foot forward and always just have the back of your man while your man has your back. Like, everybody just needs to out to do the most for each other. That's how love is supposed to be. And this chick is like, but like in the black community, everybody out to be pulling back. And in that same video, I found myself being proud of Jay-Z. I'm not a fan of Jay-Z. He is a most nefarious guy. He is just exorbitantly blasphemous. But what he said made me be like, oh, you know, like, awesome. Congratulations, dude. Let's pat you on the shoulder over there, because men in the world don't get there. Rarely, at least not on time. Men in the world don't get to a point of so much contriteness that they would recognize as something that women are just in always plight of. That I am a feeling emotional being and you must love me enough to see the sorrow and actually care for it. Listen, I have mourned like I had lost a loved one because I found out a guy that I was dating was cheating and he was just agitated. Essentially, got all of my body temperature. When in that season I was just mournful, essentially unable to even let go, get over what happened, cogitating, thinking, reliving in my mind all the times he touched her, stroked her, did to her what he did to me. I was in so much post-traumatic stress after Angshike like this guy that I just could not stop laboring for this whole entire time. And it was the first time he saw that kind of pain on me, and he got irritated with me. And he would like sometimes even walk out or even roll his eyes or roll his body away from me. Essentially just walk away because, oh, he still cried. And this is one of the most feeling men I've ever been with, most sentient men. Because some guys are like robots. They don't even have super intelligence or general intelligence. They don't even have artificial intelligence. Just like a robot, like the ones that back in the day, it just uses a remote and does not have its own ability to machine learn. Yes, some men are just robotic, like entirely unfazed. And this was the first guy that I dated that had compassion, that was essentially lenient on my feelings, a man that actually had feelings and was willing to show them, and that was actually romantic and actually put his foot forward, like who tried, like who showed me that he's a person and not so much a robot that just loves to kiss and have sex. This was the first guy that I dated that was like that. Essentially, he was the best among them all. This was the first guy that I dated that looked like he might have some kind of artificial intelligence in him, some kind of sentient life force. Some kind of it's alive even though it's a robot. He had that. And despite him being the best out of them all, pertaining his emotional suite. Yo, I know one Chitela, and when I found out he got so exhausted with how just entirely bereft I was, that he got to a point where even though, dude, listen, I could leave you because you did that. So you're in danger of being abandoned, essentially. So go nurse my wounds, dog, because you're facing eviction out of this joint. You're facing, and you know you can't lose me. Like, you know you can't lose me. So, how come I'm more sensitive? No, I got katala, dog. He was like, yo, hey, what happened? Why get abandoned? And I was like, I guess I get what I'm trying to get the flames. Yeah, do get it. Hey, I can knock up my touch on fire who's paying. Big it defender down. No, I need to cool down. If you like got a temperature in a get talk fire, like get fever. I didn't know what to do to myself during that season. It took a minute. I was working at the call center. On that bank, at some point, I even stopped taking calls, and I got a final written warning from my boss for rerouting calls because I was so bereft. I was just in a trance. I was comatose. I was catatonic, looking into thin air because and he was the one guy, because I get he was more sentient. He looked like an AI bot that's giving singularity. He had more humanity in him than most guys that I dated, so I didn't expect him to do this to me, and he did. And I was just out of my mind in horror. I was so petrified by what just happened. I literally became a zombie. I was catatonic. And I got a final written warning for rerouting calls in the call center. And during this traumatized season, the one artificial intelligence bot that reached singularity finally, it's like a human being, also went awry on me. I was like, yes, like it, what is this? And that man made me pray once I finally came to God, because I was like, even the best among them, but insensitive, even the ones that looking at you and inquisiyo. I don't know, inquisiyo, bamba fake, banamanga, they lie. They all lie. They're all lying. It's a zombie apocalypse. Ke ha ke lla ke re ha ona o mongwe betero phala ona so ke tla iketsang. Flames, ngabonisa ama-flames nendoda lena engithandazisile. He gave me a mock-up, a prototype against which to pray when I finally started believing in God, because he was the last guy that I was with before coming to Christ. And like I said, one with ama-flames. So when I heard not Gen Z but Jay-Z speaking about what essentially he felt pertaining his cheating on Beyonce, I was pleasantly surprised, because the guy looks like he looks like one of those, not even AI bots, just a bot. He just looks insensitive, like rappers always do. They always appear just aloof, like they're so misogynistic in their lyrics, and they're among the most like seemingly apathetic men to women, entitled to just be showered with respect, affection, and adoration in spite of a lack of character. That I didn't expect that to come from Jay-Z, from a rapper especially, because they're the ones that really defile black women. They're the ones that really to humiliate, talk down on us. They're the ones that appear to just not give two hoots that were people that were feeling. And they're the ones that are pushing down, proliferating culture of just apathy towards black women and hypersexualization of us and objectification and whatnot. So when that came from Jay-Z, I was like, maybe they're not like that. They're just out here selling the devil's ideals. But maybe their humanity is still there. Perhaps there's something inside. I don't know. But I was surprised. I was pleasantly surprised as I was watching the show where this chick, I'm sorry I'm blowing my nose, as this chick was out here talking about Jay-Z, not Jay-Z, but about black love, and just how problematic it is amidst us all. She then shared a snippet of Jay-Z speaking about his feelings as he's being interviewed by somebody towards Beyonce, and I was pleasantly surprised. I was like, you know, and I stopped looking at him like he's a nefarious Illuminati beast or whatever out here proliferating Thalima, but I started seeing him as a person, at least for that one moment. I'm still holding him bumper even to this day. But he said it was when I saw the pain in her eyes and how much essentially calamity I had caused that I realized that, listen, I can't carry on like this. Like this is somebody that I love. I caused so much pain. I was like, he cared that he caused pain. And listen, black women are so used to apathetic, aloof behavior on the part of our men that it is surprising when you hear a black man say, I saw the pain in her eyes and it actually really killed me. I was afflicted by it. I saw how much damage I had done. And so I changed my mind. I was like, they do that? They black men get to a point where they actually feel like, what the heck? What have I done? I don't believe that. The way that black men are so apathetic towards black women, it's shocking to hear one say it. I noticed that I hurt her and it killed me. It's like, you actually feel what we call remorse, guilt, disquiet about one's behavior, compassion or sensitivity, considerateness, regard for a woman, another person. They're so apathetic and they are so full of reverse. They listen, the ones Baba Boloi are so determined to make me, for instance, grovel at their feet that all I sense is just this, I want mine. Like they just appear so beastly, so rudimentary in what they want, like Neanderthals, like no desire for humanness, only pleasure, satiation, like just the fulfillment of their desires. When I gaze at black men, they eat and they poop and they pee, they sleep and they wake up and they eat, but they don't reciprocate. Like I don't see reciprocity because I have listened. I am not okay. There are instances where I've had two black men be not impartial, but what's the word that I'm looking for? Selfless, where I'm concerned, and they were complete strangers. And in both cases, I was stranded. One time, my tire just burst on the highway, and I was stranded in the yellow lane. And a black man stopped his car, seeing me essentially kind of outside investigating my car, and helped me change my tire and put on a biscuit, and then went on his merry way without asking for my number. So it was just about helping a woman. And then another time, my boyfriend used up my money in my petrol card, and I poured petrol without knowing I had no money. And I was parked, panicked, at the garage, trying to see if I can call the whole planet to see who can rescue me from the situation. And this dude essentially overheard the petrol attendant saying, "Declined, ma'am," and then me driving to go park, and so therefore trying to figure my way out as to how in the world I'm gonna pay for petrol. And he knocked on my window and was like, "What's the damage?" And I told him $200, and he was like, "I got this, you can go." I was like, "What?" And it's like the weird thing about that situation was that my boyfriend was the one that stole money from me, and another guy became manly above him and helped my cause. And I remember telling him, my petrol card without even telling me. And another man bailed me out. I was trying to make him see, well, one day you're gonna lose me because there are better men out here in these streets that are doing better than you. His response was to rather use witchcraft on me so I don't go out on him, so I don't do this, that, and the other, instead of changing his ways. Anyway, whatever. Those that, like that guy that paid the damage, and the other guy only changes in the tire without asking anything in return. They're the only two black men in my entire life, ever, that have ever done anything without expecting anything in return, just simply by being chivalrous. Everybody else has expected something back. I have had black male friends that were irritated by my platonic behavior in their climate whenever I asked them for favors, precisely because they always expected a kiss, even though they told me. No, there's another one. There was a friend from MTN that just parked behind my car during a time when I was waiting for, again, this time around it was my brakes that went all awry, and I was waiting for Bacho. I had put a status on Facebook, and he came all the way from where he stayed, which was far away, and I was around 14th Avenue, and he's parked behind my car. I am already towing trucks and whatnot to come, Pulong, Dropa, go high, and what have you. And he did that out of just the goodness of his own heart. Nothing shady, nothing of that nature. So yeah, I have had odd occasions of black men being selfless, but largely the grand majority of them, and I have lived a couple of years now. I'm 41, but as at that stage I was in my 20s, I'd lived 20-something years and endured just a most horrific apathy on the part of black men, and it was just anticipated that that's just how they're gonna be. Generally, it was anticipated that that is how they're gonna be. Generally, apathetic and aloof, such that women even expect noma ni jola lana gyajolwa gyangabuzanwa. And because you are in the world, you are even fornicating. God, you don't even expect you to like proper. This is not tit for tat. I scratch your back, you scratch mine. What is more scratching a man's back than giving him your body? And yet, in spite of like tit for tat, where you are just giving away your goods, still, you're selfish, dog. Hey, drags his feet. You are also really greatly pleasured by things like kissing and having sex, when we all know that the most pleasure is largely gained by men in sexual relations, especially when it has no emotional connection to it, or when they're not all up invested in it intimately. Amadoda don't regard sex as a spiritual or an emotional experience. It is a physical one. So they're the ones that really enjoy the physicality of a relationship. Whereas women, if at all women, if at all and women, if at all there is disagreement or feeling like you're not being met halfway or 3/4 way or whatever, sex sucks. It bites because it's like you feel used. Women sometimes don't even arrive at a point of enjoying themselves to the nth degree sexually. If at all they're not really invested in it with everything, they have to work that much harder to get anything out of physicality. Do you understand? So without things like compassion, regard, selflessness, essentially just care, without like bigger, haughtier, weightier matters, physicality just don't mean jack to women. It don't mean jack. Like, listen, it don't mean jack. If you like a physical touch is more the love language of men than it ever can be women. So without you just feel like used and abused. You will know, Mamela, Beyonce even sings it in Pinayach. If he's always laughing and flirting with me, and you act like you don't even care. As a matter of fact, you've been real distant lately, acting like I'm not even there. He says that you don't deserve a girl like me. I'm starting to think that he's right, baby. If you let him take me from you, I guess I'll finally see. If you let him take me from you, you never wanted me. Let this happen and it proves that your love was never true. If you let him take me from you, baby. If you let him take him from you. Here in last the part. Why is it that when we go out together as with one crew, I forget the lyrics, I start to kiss you or whatever, hang or whatever, but your homeboy's more interested than you. He says that you don't deserve a girl like me. I'm starting to think that he's right. Baby, if you let him take me from you, I guess I'll finally see. And then, yeah, this is the part that I'm really going for. Boy, when I start to show some affection to you, you act like you got better things to do. When you want some loving, that's when it's cool. Baby boy, I'm not a fool. I guess I'll finally see. No, you never wanted me. Yeah. When you want some loving, that's when it's cool. But then she's like, boy, when I try to show some affection to you, you act like you've got better things to do. When you want some loving, that's, yeah, she's like, only when you want sex, essentially. She's like, when you want some loving, that's when it's cool. But baby boy, I'm not a fool. I guess I'll finally see. No, you never wanted me. You let me go. If you let him take me from you. She's lamenting that only when you want to have sex, that's when it's okay for me to touch and grope at you. But when I try to show you affection and so therefore get close and cuddly and get all that reciprocity, I know. Boy, when I try to show some affection to you, you act like you've got better things to do. We are lament stuff like that. Like intimacy for women is everything, whereas physicality for men appears to be just enough. The same Beyonce of which, seeing as we're on that whole trajectory at Beyonce, let Jay-Z, now you women. And I've done a video out lamenting about all this stuff. But I keep repeating myself because somebody that made sure that be a thing. Plus, that's also the nature of instruction. It's repetitive. Okay? Hey. I told you I do love you, baby, but you don't care. Now I'm crying and deserted, baby, but you don't care. Can't nobody tell me this ain't love. This is love. When you're immune, thank you. Can't nobody tell me this is love. That saith Beyonce, when you're immune to all my pain, yeah. I need you to tell me this ain't love when I don't care, but you're not there. Well, I care. I know you don't care too much, but I still care. Baby, well, I care. I know you don't care too much, but I still care. Baby, no. What happened to our trust? We used to be so in love, and now you don't care no more. Like groveling. Do you understand what I'm saying? Out here complaining about how it is that I'm trying to love you but you don't, because at some point you get bored of me. We used to be so in love, but now you don't care no more. Yeah, kunjalo nyashiwa nje la dampwa la abandonwa. Hey, Marina Jaso, like, is the only way out of this monstrous trap. Do you understand? We used to be so in love, now you don't care no more. And also the trap of when you want some loving, that's when it's cool. Baby, but where it is that a dude is out to listen, ain't got a prostitute or got a side chick, ain't got to you are a sex buddy. You're there for no other purpose but sex. You're married. Mara, overnight in Jeffela when you're trying to get down after that Uya Banda, you will feel just so out on a limb, out on a crazy limb. Like out on a limb. I also used King Sharon White. Hey, God keeps warning me, y'all. Like, listen, I'm not gonna get married to any others. Like, listen, forget it. King Ele, Superwoman. Early in the morning, I put breakfast at your table, and make sure that your coffee has some sugar and cream. Your eggs are over easy, your toast done lightly. All that's missing is that morning kiss you used to give me. Now you say the juice is sour, it used to be so sweet, and now I can't help but wonder if you're talking about me. We don't talk the way we used to talk, it's hurting so deep. I got my pride, I will not cry, but it's making me weak. I'm not your superwoman, dun 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 dun. I'm not the kind of girl that you can let down and think that everything's okay. Boy, I am only human. This love is more than occasional love, and help from you and me, ooh baby. Hey. Yeah. Hashem, I drive my way through the rush hour just to make it home in time for you. And so that your dinner will be waiting for you. I ain't singing no kind of strange music to no kind of strange boy. I ain't doing it, but I was puzzled out of my mind. To hear that Jay-Z actually cared, I was like, they actually care? Or are they acting like they don't care? Or is it just rare that one guy will wake up and be like, like what Jay-Z did, is it rare? What Jay-Z came to a recognition of, is it rare? Where he notices that, let's not causing pain, hey? Because for the better majority, you be calling my juice sour when it used to be so sweet. And I can't help but wonder if you're talking about me now. You can't do nothing but act a crazy fool. I'm not gonna cry, I will not barge, because you're making me cry. Ooh, let's let me know the ballad. Let's let me know the ballad. Langutra, the other jam. Yeah, that I used to basically depict this notion. Elea Tamiya. It's found all over y'all's music. And that's why I get secular songs. I'm gonna sing some of them to show the sentiment that y'all will have, how you will ultimately feel because of disregarding your God-ordained function. What it is that he actually anointed you to do. Mara, haunandaba. Mustrateng. Janong Niketika Soloms. Not Soloms, what is it? Ising Soloms, not uksola, but regret. Yeah, ukuzisola vele, Soloms, yeah. Ukuzisola. Ukuzisola. You there now, like a bear, hanging like a homie. Yeah. You there, hanging like a homie in Regret Boulevard. Regret. I'm doing an edit over here. Eleata Mia. Yeah. Woo. Woo. Ay. There's a stranger in my house. It took a while to figure out there's no way you could be who you say you are. You've gotta be someone else, cause he wouldn't touch me like that. Hey, and he wouldn't treat me like you do. He would adore me, he wouldn't ignore me. So I'll admit there's a stranger in my house. You wear the same size shoes in the picture on the bed. If these walls could talk, they would have nothing to say. It's somebody imitating me. Look in my face, there's a stranger in my house. Woo! Took a while to figure out, cause he wouldn't say the things you say. Whatever you say you are, gotta be someone else, cause he wouldn't touch me like that. And he wouldn't whatever. I don't mean, no didn't know me, I admit. Pop quiz and tell me what I did. Or is me, or is the stranger is me? Is the stranger, if the stranger is me? Have I changed so drastically? Are you causing women to second guess themselves, being gaslit by crazy Jews that RJ have just gone awry? I think he's got a mistress. And you know the weirdest thing is when men get found cheating on wives, a great majority of them dump the side chicks permanently, right? They dump the side chicks permanently and they reconcile to their wives. And you will wonder, like, oh, sorry, if I didn't bust you, you would have just carried on with an affair for like 10 years. 10 years. You be finding dudes out with side chicks for 3 years. Side chicks for like 3, 4, 5 years. And then the wife finds out, or the side chick bravely just like brazenly makes a decision. I've been telling you, leave your wife for me. And then this like crazy side chick lady then out here be texting. Oh, busy. Keep what worry. Your wife. Then you fight and you have a field day, and then this dude dumps the mistress. Alright, yes, and there's a covenant in marriage. I'm a side chick, number one, naive. But now there's like a war ending me. Where it is that, listen, so if I didn't get busted, if you didn't get busted, and also if your side chick didn't contact me, with this nonsense. Pop quiz, would you have left her if I did not find out about your affair? Tell me, you nasty ball of Concordia, or is the stranger here me? Have I changed so drastically? Out, I got a eating out. Woo! You keep singing. Listen, you will keep on singing. Let's twala pele mona nantse le busy ka di balade tsa go tswapoga nka re bogati ya galampi. Let's twala pele. Quiz. You will keep on. Mara, this is what I hear gotta say. Jay-Z's little epiphany. I ain't never seen it. I ain't never. Like, listen, I'm not lying. Even if the guy that was an AI bot, he had more artificial intelligence than other people. He had more sentiency than the rest of them. I didn't see the contrite spirit of Jay-Z. I was, pleasantly surprised. Listen, dude, you were not supposed to cheat out your cause. Beyonce be talking about chicks with Betty with the good hair, okay? Or can give it Bitsy or Betty with the good hair, whatever. Yeah, Beyonce's Lemonade album. Hola. They don't love you like I love you. Slow down. They don't love you like I. Yeah, if it wasn't for Beyonce out here coming out, this private woman that then decided to go and publicize that particular issue, we would know. Okay, listen, I've lost my train of thought, but what I'm getting at is Beyonce coming to a point, no, not Beyonce, but Jay-Z, that contriteness in him that caused Beyonce to write Lemonade, right? Listen, I've never seen it. I have never been graced with the glory of a contrite bugaboo. What's not in front on some, listen, I'm sorry about Betty with the good hair, or is it Betsy or Carly with the good hair? I don't know. All right? I've never. And I had guys out here that I dated. Call me rechte Medi. I can't do without. Honey, I can't live without you, Mara. I was never ever awarded that level of contriteness. I was never ever blessed with that level of contriteness in a man. I would have taken my ex-boyfriend back in spite of my convictions in Christ, because I was still quite fluffy as a new convert at the beginning of the end of our relationship. Or rather, when I was newly saved, I was kind of fluffy. I was namby-pamby with the things of God. Not, listen, I was born again, but I was yet to be too sanctified. So conviction about unequal yoking, I wasn't yet there. So if he had made like Jay-Z and realized, what you heck, I heard Karabo, and I can't, maybe that's why God kept him away. Like, the Lord made him so arrogant. The Lord made him so arrogant that he was like, I can do without you, whatever. I have never been blessed with that contrite spirit, that brokenness and that contrite spirit, ega Jay-Z, that I saw. That's why the Bible says, God says in his word, that a broken heart and a contrite spirit, he will not despise. Okay, he will not despise a broken heart and a contrite spirit. Because if at all, if at all Jesus, if our King, if our Monghadi Messiah, Tela Moya Ohala Lelam, if at all our Messiah does not despise a broken heart and a contrite spirit, as human beings made in his own image, we also get softened. A gentle answer turns away wrath. By contriteness, we do. People get, because nobody's perfect. So even when you're yet to know the Lord, his principles largely still operate in humanity, insofar as you're still drawing the breath of life and God's image courses through your veins and you're still somewhat kind of salvageable, redeemable. You will have it in you to essentially uktamba, ukpola, uklexa, ukokumoya, especially considering your judgment as a woman is to grovel at the feet of men. So when they are just darling, I can't explain. Where did we lose our way? Our girl is driving me insane. And I know I just need one more chance to prove my love to you. If you come back to me, I'll guarantee that I'll never let you go. Can we go back to the days our love was strong? Can you tell me where the perfect love goes wrong? Cause now you're only 5'5". Can somebody tell me how we get this back the way they used to be? Oh God, give me the reason. I'm down on bended, down on bended. And And indeed, in that very Boys to Men music video, like everybody gets back together at the end of that video. Every couple that breaks up and fights and throws their toys out the cart reconcile. And that's just like, listen, these people are out there telling true stories. They get back together because insofar as a dude is like, darling, I can't explain. Where did we lose our way? Girl, is it driving me insane? And I know I just need one more chance to prove my love to you. Yeah, insofar as a dude can out, yeah, be hooking up, be ballant like that, largely women, especially considering their judgment is to grovel at the feet of these dudes. The women will take them back together, and that's why your marriage and your relationships, that's why that video on YouTube that I was watching is so true about black love. It's just calamitous, tumultuous. It's a war. It's a jungle. By the time if a black couple stays married and they're like at their golden anniversary, by the time they get there, there's been so much cheating, so much pain, so much so much Aye, young dog. By who in particular? Women. If a relationship has lingered for a minute, largely, that I've had to hold on to some crazy structures. Do you understand what I'm saying? Good tumultuous da. Can somebody tell me? Marana, my ex-boyfriend owned 2 seats. Ngabonga boy. Thank you. Like, listen, now looking back in retrospect, thank you for being arrogant. Because I never would have run to Moon Hadi Messia Tolerado. Stella Moya oh halale. I would never have gone to God. And I would never have petitioned him for a husband the way that I petitioned him for a husband. Listen, it was premised on all the collective hurt I had endured and all that which I rather wanted. I admitted to myself what I needed, and I took it to God, and I also put it in front of him what it is that I was done with. I confessed that, listen, I'm sorry that I fornicated, I sinned in that fashion. I was not supposed to mara since I had the lessons. It would be great if you would just like keep this out of my courtyard. Please just make sure that this year I ain't getting a jardim, because I don't want to go through this. I don't want to go through it again. I don't want to deal with an AI bot. Somebody that are just going to make me have so much sentiency that I will think that he is human. It's just that he is a more advanced robot in that he's AI and he's reached a singularity. The rest of the bots of the past, I have never been met with the contriteness that I saw in Jay-Z. I didn't. Maybe that's why Beyonce took him back. But then again, Beyonce, it is not within her generational curse. Early. It is within a generational curse to divorce after, listen, too many years have progressed, because look at her mom and dad divorced. It's a whole lady wrong. But if Jay-Z sort of kind of keeps himself in a bunch, I don't know, like, I don't think that they will ever divorce, and I would not ever want for them to divorce. Listen, we're rooting for people here to repent, tap establishment thing. We can't, however, deny that all these examples, all these earthly examples, we cannot deny, or they speak to people on the planet. The people of the South. Remember that Dali Tambo show? Anyway, whatever. People out here in the South African streets and elsewhere. I cannot deny that these people are depicting real life stories. Do you understand what I'm saying? Margareti, just because it is a real life story that is entirely relatable by the majority of people doesn't mean it ought to beat your grain. God is the author and the finisher of our faith. We thank God for Tyndale's interpretation, translation of the Bible. He is the author and the finisher of our faith. And he is the one that enables us to understand that faith as tiny as a mustard seed, with it can we say move to a mountain and it'll move. He says that we are saved by, what do you call this? Ask anything in his name and it'll be given us. He is faithful and just to forgive us our sins and heal us from our unrighteousness, such that those men that he has forgiven of their sins and healed of their unrighteousness will also then realize the folly of not being sufficiently contrite when women are hurt in these streets, and also not being sufficiently preventative even of hurting a person at all. Loving a neighbor as you love yourself type establishment thing. And as a black woman, having dated quite a handsome amount prior to me coming to the Lord Jesus Christ, I will come here and confess that I have never ever experienced in my life the level of contriteness that I saw in a worldly man in the person of Jay-Z, in any guy that I've ever dated, evidencing just how rare it is for black men to get to a point where they're like, darling, I can't explain, where did we lose our way? Girl, is driving me insane. Okay, they don't get there largely because they're too busy holding on to their man cave and all of their manufactured misogyny coming from where we don't know. They're just punching us. Do you understand? With all this indiscretion and all that it has produced in my particular nation, that is Africa du Sud, is gender-based violence, where guys don't say no, they don't say sorry, they don't barge, and when Even if they do say sorry, it is only because initially you do want your shower clean every day and you miss the company of a woman and you miss the woman that you've been treating like trash. So you keep getting back together, breaking up, getting back together, breaking up. But when then her pain is evidently all up in your grill, yawning like a tired baby, okay? And you then like walk out, you're tired, you're too emotional, like listen, I can't deal. And you don't get to the point where like Jay-Z, you're like, listen, I caused so much pain. Until you out here thoroughly do everything in your power to essentially nurse her back to health.